Have you ever had an idea where initially when you thought of it, you were super excited about it and you couldn't wait to start, only to tell yourself that you weren't ready yet? Well, if nobody's ever told you, let me be the first to tell you, you will never be 100% ready to start anything, and that's exactly why you should just start now. In today's video, I'm going to show you why the perfect moment doesn't exist and how you can take action right now, even if you feel unprepared. Hi, my name is Jermaine. I'm a mindset coach, and my goal and one of my purposes in life is to get as many Black people to create content as I can so we can control our narrative in this world. So we've all been there. Maybe you thought of a new video series for your YouTube channel. Initially, you meet that new idea with so much excitement. It starts to fuel you. You just have ideas popping off your head. If you're smart, you're writing those ideas down. But when it comes to executing that idea, you hesitate. Either you tell yourself that the content that you are creating is not exactly how you want it, and I like to call that perfectionism. And trust me, there's no such thing as perfect. My mantra has been like this for a long time. If you think of the idea, then the idea is a good one, and you were supposed to chase that idea. I don't believe that we think of anything that we cannot achieve. And again, if you thought of that idea, why not run after it? This need to be perfect, or that fear of not knowing exactly what you're getting into, that constant doubting is costing us time. Luckily, I've learned how to get past that fear of the unknown, but I remember it being paralyzing. Like I couldn't make a choice, and because I didn't move forward, I just end up doing nothing. This hesitation is costing us money, opportunity, is costing time to actually learn the skills that we need, and in a worst case scenario, is costing us our dreams. The truth is, waiting until you're ready often means you're waiting forever. I have so many examples of this in my life that I constantly look at to remind myself I don't need to be ready to start something. The first one that comes up is my first daughter. Now, when me and my wife were in a house solo, we told ourselves, yeah, of course we want to have kids, but we want to wait until we're ready. Spoiler alert, we never actually picked a date, and I couldn't have planned it better. There's so many things you think you need before you start having a family, but truth be told, we were ready. We were just putting ideas into the future, what we thought we needed, and none of that stuff was true. Like, we knew the basics, we knew how to keep the child alive, we knew how to bathe her, we know how to change the diapers, all that stuff, you kind of understand that's things that you need to do. Everything else we learn on the fly. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we are amazing parents. The other time I started something when I wasn't 100% fully ready was my podcast, which is on episode 60, uploaded unfiltered. Find it on your podcast catcher of choice. Currently, I'm on episode 60, and I have not missed a week since I've started the podcast. I was not ready when I started it, but I told myself, I want a podcast. I've been telling myself for a long time that I wanted to create something where I could talk to other creators and just get inside their heads so we can share these stories so we can all benefit from it. I told myself so many times that I wanted that, and eventually I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be ready. I'm just going to jump in, and a year and some months in, everything has been amazing so far. So in my mind, and this proved it to me, taking action before you're ready is how growth happens. We have this negative connotation with the word failure, and I know that we need to change that, because failure is how you grow. If you sit down and think about it, anybody who is in a place of success had to fail to get there, and it excites me to think about failure now. That was not something that used to happen. Hell, 6 months ago, I was not thinking like this. Failure gives you a few opportunities. One is you get to course correct. If you're moving down the wrong path, this failure is going to allow you to reevaluate and see if this is the right move, or do you need to switch things up? And two, you always learn something from failure. If you don't, it's because you choose not to. Ever played the game Elden Ring? You think you're getting through that without any failure? Then you're lying to yourself. Failure is part of the process. Failure is not a negative thing. Failure is how you learn. And I'll tell you right now, the people who are super successful are the people who are not afraid to fail. When you're not afraid to fail, there's nothing stopping you. That's the type of energy that I want you to step into, and that's the type of energy that I'm going to help people get to. Another byproduct of actually going after something before you're ready is it builds your confidence. Again, if nobody's ever told you this, stepping outside your comfort zone builds confidence. 100%. Highly encourage, if there's something that you've wanted to do but is outside your comfort zone, do it. Do it without fear of failure, and I promise you, on the other side is this confidence boost, and you actually get the thing that you were looking for. And the most important reason why you should jump before you're ready is because experience is how you become amazing. I'll tell you this, and if this doesn't make sense to you, I can't help you. I don't know what to do. But that time where you're trying to be perfect on that one video, you're trying to line up everything correctly, you're trying to make sure the font is the right color, you're trying to make sure that you get all the things in the background out of your video shot, those moments do not compare to how much experience you would get if you just did the thing and failed. I'll give you a minute example. For me, it's always editing. I always see something in my videos that I'm like, I'm gonna edit this forever. I used to think like that. Now, I don't care. I need to get this content out. The more content I get out, the more people who see it, the more eyes I attract, and the more my message gets out. That's the goal here. I need to speak up. Attempting to perfect a video that I edited in an hour only to have 4 days go by and I still didn't perfect it in the way that I wanted to is a waste of time. And in my world, because I'm on this only think positive tip, somebody's gonna see the video, see the error, and actually reach out to me and help me, because the universe is only here to provide me with what I need to become amazing. So there is no failure in my world. I put something out, if it's not up to my standards, I learn from it and move on. Currently, I have 3 YouTube channels. I have my main Kryptonite channel, I have my podcast channel, Uploaded Unfiltered, and then I have this channel here, Radiant Reflection, where I'm going to be providing you with knowledge and insight on mental health, mindsets, and things to help us grow as creators. So again, we can take back our narrative and shape the world's perspective in a way that is more realistic to us as Black people. All right, so you heard all that, and in your head, you're still thinking, but what if I fail? You heard me say it numerous times. Failure is not a bad thing. Failure is not a bad thing. Failure should not have negative connotation when it comes to you achieving your goals. If you need to fail to learn a valuable lesson that'll push you forward faster than if you didn't do anything at all, go fail. I'm telling you, it took me a while to get this in my head, but failure is learning. Failure is progress. Failure is how I achieve my end goal. Give it to me. And that leads us to the next 2 and 3 options. Failure is how you sharpen your skill set. Don't worry about not knowing everything before you start. Failure, going through it, getting experience is how you sharpen your skills. Also, this is how you learn skills that you need and not skills that you're never going to use. I didn't go to school for editing. All of the editing tips and tricks that I learned was either through trial and error or through YouTube. And I wouldn't have it any other way. When it comes down to it, I actually enjoy the editing process. So learning things is kind of a puzzle/game to me. Oh, and just forget about being perfect. Perfection is an enemy of progress. I don't remember where I heard that, but it sounded good. And now you've heard it. Let that sink in. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Now, if you made it to this part of the video, you probably want some steps and some advice on how you can move forward even when you're not ready or unprepared. First and foremost, shift your mindset. Accept that you will never be fully prepared, and in doing so, that you're going to learn more than if you never did anything in the first place. And that's actually a good thing, because growth happens when you're challenged. If you're not challenged, you're not growing. Step 2 is to start small. If you want to have a podcast, for instance, don't do everything that encompasses a podcast and just put it out and be like, all right, done. No, that's terrifying. Your brain's going to go crazy trying to think of ways to get you out of doing that. Start small. Figure out a name for your podcast and what exactly you want that podcast to do. Who are the people you want to reach? Figure out your audience. And in doing so, I promise you more ideas will start popping up. Your first iteration of whatever project that you're working on does not have to be your final one. Again, I'm only a year into my podcast and I've switched a bunch of stuff numerous times. Nobody really knows it. I know it, but it's me chasing what I want the final result of my podcast to be. And had I not started it, I can't imagine this whole last year going by and I not have a podcast. That makes no sense to me. Number 3, embrace imperfection. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be done. If you're not putting out your content, nobody's seeing your face, nobody's hearing your story, nobody's getting a chance to get to know you. There's a lot of people who actually dig the imperfections because they're terrified to even get in front of a camera at all, let alone edit a whole video and add text and music to it and put it in front of people so they can see and judge it. They're not doing that. So you don't need to be perfect. Step 4. Learn and adapt. As you start to take action, learn from your experiences. And remember to focus on progress, not perfection. And as you take action, learn from your experiences. And of course, adjust your approach as needed, but most importantly, keep moving forward. And last but not least, step 5, surround yourself with an amazing support system. It is vital that you find people that you can connect with that support change, that support doing things when you don't have all the information in front of you. Surround yourself with people who also are willing to take risks to achieve their goals. A strong support system can make all the difference. I would never say that you can't do this without a support system because I believe anything you put your mind to is achievable. But I will say having a strong support system makes this journey 4,000 times better. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I am a mindset coach for creators because again, I want to be able to control our narrative when it comes to media in the way that we are portrayed and in the way that we are portrayed to the world. And the best way to do that is for us to actually start creating content. I know there are these things, these stucknesses, these terms that get thrown around that are keeping so many bright and creative people back from creating content. The fire inside me has been lit and I am here to help. You can either leave a comment below saying you need assistance, you can head over to radiantreflection.best, sign up for a consultation, but regardless, anything I can do to help you on your journey, let me know. And remember, chase that failure, because without failure, there's no challenge. Without challenge, there is no growth.